Hey boys, welcome back to the second part in this test match, or first test match game against the West Indies, and we're playing from behind in this one. We're trailing by still 26. Joseph is on a hat trick, so we gotta stand up to this one. He tries to bump us first up there, a little bit of a double bluff. You'd be expecting a full straight one surely, but. Yeah, Alzari Joseph. He was one of the. We didn't face him at all in that first innings, but he's one of the young West Indian quicks that I was sort of referring to in the previous video about one of their upcoming or future stars in the making. I think I don't know. I haven't looked at his like stats recently or anything, but just watching like some clips of him, he looked like a very good bowler. I don't know if it's translated to the actual figures and all that. You know what? I do this like nearly every video, but let's have a quick gander. Let's look it up quickly. See how I think I looked this up. I think I was curious one other time. Alzari Joseph, West Indian quick. So yeah, tests. Where is his bowling? Oh, there we go. So test. Okay, so yeah, he's played 9 matches, average of 32.8, economy rate in the threes. So yeah, very very early on. He's only 23 years old. It's funny because like a bowler nowadays, like bowlers seem to be getting lower and lower averages. Obviously, they're the freaks of the past that. Ridiculously low, but I don't know, this generation of quick bowlers. I mean, you look at the Australian team, Paddy Cummins with a like low 20s, Mitchell Starc sort of mid to high 20s, Hazelwood mid 20s, an average, which is ridiculous. It's so low, and a guy like Joseph, average of 32, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. Obviously, as a frontline quick, you'd probably want. I think probably most quick bowlers in the international scene, their goal is probably to get it below 30, but 30, 31, 32, it's still a very handy average. But yeah, from watching a few clips of him and some highlights, he looked like a player for the future for them. But yeah. Back to the normal proceedings. We're definitely in some bother here. We're coming from a big handicap for sure. We still trail by 11. We need to try to knock off these deficit runs nice and quickly. Matty Renshaw is the other man at the crease, 28, as that is a cracking pull shot. They do have 2 men back, but we have just swiveled and nailed it. It really didn't get up that high. It probably would have hit the stumps, but we have just absolutely rocked it. Rifer coming around the wicket left arm, so, anything short, it's probably angling into the body, so we can just sort of swivel with the shot. And it was just an absolute cracker, which is, always good to see. So we move on to 20 off 15, trail by 1 run. So yeah, we definitely want to get that sorted out, and then and try to get something going. It's sort of shown in previous test matches and first class games. If we get a lead of 200, 250, we're in the game. We're in the game for sure. I don't think 200 is going to be enough per se, unless our bowlers come out and rip through the top order, which definitely can happen. Definitely can happen with our bowling attack, and West Indian batting lineup probably not the absolute quality, as this is an absolute glorious shot. 114 meters, just using the pace. Again, the left armour, banging in short, and we've just opened the face. Just put the bat there, let the ball hit the bat, The bat's there, just let the ball hit it. Why bother swinging at it? So that is just an incredibly good shot. So we quickly get on to 31 off 21. As again, that's a cracking shot down the ground. But yeah, if we 200 and we're in the game, 250 and up, where I don't know if you'd say where we have the advantage, but anywhere closing in on 300, we would definitely have the advantage. So all it is now, batting partnerships, myself and Renshaw, we'd love to put on a big partnership here. And then hopefully down the order, our boys can pitch in and try to get this lead up and about. Because, you know, it's probably, this is a test series, you know, the previous one coming off a huge win against India, didn't lose a game. Coming up against the West Indies home, I mean, this is a series we'd definitely be favourites to win. So it's a big game, and the West Indies are gonna be up and about. You know, the fact they're in with such a good chance for the first game of the series, they're gonna be up and about. They're gonna be very confident going into this final section here. As that is again cracking shot. We've just placed it beautifully. Again, they got the two men back. We're just picking that gap. It's sort of a fine leg of 3/4 away to the fence, and then a fairly square, deep square, pretty much exactly square leg. So it's not a big gap, but you know, the pace, the ball's coming, and the power of the shots. Again, we're just gonna hit it into that gap, and it's gonna go for 4. So you know, probably, I don't know, change the field. So it looks like that's going to be the 50-run stand for myself and Renshaw. There you go, 51 of 56, which is very nice. We have scored 44 of those runs, so not too bad. That's a quality ball. You know, that's the type of, the left armour coming over the wicket like this. His short ball should be tough to play, but he's bowling them too straight. There you go again. Just that angle across, it's tough to play. So I don't know. His short balls at the moment, again, that one just a little bit too on the body. And for a left-hander to get it on the body like that, he sort of has to sort of spray it down a bit. So it's going to be probably going further down leg. If he's just going with the natural angle and is pitching about on leg stump, middle stump, and then going away, it's a much harder shot to play, because you know, you don't know if it might jag in a little bit, or even if you try to pull it, just going against the angle, very easily get a little top edge and sky it, as that is gone for 6 somehow. That's going to be a 50 as well, 53 off 39. So good to see we're back in the runs, back in the milestones. Had a little bit of a, not an absolute shocker in the first innings, but definitely below our standard for sure. So good to get back in the runs here. Is that flick off the pads though? Good lord, it was just cracking shots. But Renshaw also is starting to make a little bit of a move. 46 off 80, so he's approaching his 50. As now they do have a fairly defensive field, it must be said. A deep wide on. He's pretty square. Just gonna punch that for an easy 2. So it's a bit of a strange field. Yeah, definitely strange, because even if we hit it pretty straight at mid on, like, we're probably gonna sneak 2 runs, because he's so square. And then they've got a sweeper at cover, and then a fine leg as well. Again, just playing it down the ground. Massive gaps there, so easy couple again. So not having to take any risk, and we're scoring fairly freely at the minute. Renshaw is almost at his 50. Paul is going to continue here. He's copped a little bit of tap so far, as they've changed the field again. they brought that man at mid on up into the circle, which, you know, probably the right idea. They're probably sick of just leaking runs down there, and they put a third man in, which again is a little bit strange. We played a couple of shots down there, but the one shot we did play, it went for 6. It was a cracking shot. So again, just sort of like real life, you know, sort of just putting a fielder on a boundary rope for a bad ball. Not really for any sort of plan. It's not if they're bowling just short stuff, having a third man and a fine leg obviously works in that plan, but you'd probably want, you know, looking at the replay of this one, because I was like, how are we so slow? As you can see, we sort of had to take a detour around our player there, or our Renshaw at the other end, because I was like, how are we so close to being run out? It should have been easy too, but yeah, we were a little bit sluggish to turn for that 2. It's usually the other way around. as Matty Renshaw has passed his 50, so 56 and 61 respectively. Very, very handy little partnership here. As again, just banging in short. Not really, you know, that's sort of your in-between length. It's just not, it's not full enough. It's not short enough to cause any issues. And I think that's probably the 100-run stand. For some reason, I don't know why when they come together, you know, for the little fist bump, I don't know why it doesn't come up with a little graphic to say the partnership. I thought it did that in previous games, but for some reason this one, when they show the partnership animation, it doesn't like come up like a little screen saying like, oh, 50-run partnership, Renshaw, 30 of those runs and blah blah blah, which it seems like a fairly obvious thing to have in there, but I don't know, for whatever reason it's not the case in this game. But you know, that's fine. Just one little thing I've noticed recently, I'm like, why is there no little graphic just showing the partnership details? But you know, that's fine. We're both going very, very nicely. I mean, this partnership, I mean, we still only lead by 86, so there's still a lot of work to do, but this is a match winning and match defining partnership. You know, a wicket here and things definitely change quickly, but it's been a very quality partnership so far, and if we can both get hundreds, I think it sets us up for a very, very good finish to this match, and sets us up, as that is a quality ball. Alzari Joseph, he's just getting a few to nibble away, and then this one is the big hooping in swinger. We just left it on length, thankfully, and look at this go. I think that's just genuine reverse swing, is it? Very rough on one side, and the keeper just had no chance. Didn't even see it apparently. It just took off. It absolutely took off. So that's pretty good bowling, and that one it reared up at us. So this is pretty tough batting. Joseph 2 for 27. He's definitely been the pick of the bowlers. Everyone else we've been able to attack fairly comfortably, but yeah, facing a few overs of Joseph here has been quite tough, I will say. As you can see, we're now 68 of 73. That's going to be a 4 down the ground, a little bit of a reprieve there, but yeah, scoring definitely slowed up for sure, and unfortunately Matty Renshaw has departed. A big breakthrough for the West Indian team. You know, brings Peter Hanscom to the crease, who is definitely, you know, quality in himself, but yeah, missing out on a real big partnership is definitely a killer in a game like this. But hopefully myself and Hanscom can do a good job, as well, as that is a cracking shot again down the ground. So just relieving a little bit of the build-up pressure, releasing the shackles slightly. It's been you know, not tough to score, but I mean, we're scoring pretty freely at the start of our innings, and then we've just, throughout this whole innings, as you see now, 75 of 80. Throughout this whole inning so far, it's just been very, very stop-start, as we're going to get a sneaky 4 overthrows. I mean, we'll take it, dude. We'll take the runs when they're on offer. I mean, we can't knock them back, so you know, bit silly play from the fielders there. But yeah, it's been stop-start. We've gone through 20 odd balls, scoring, you know, better than a run a ball, hitting boundaries, and then the next 20 just sort of getting dotted up, singles being the only option. So it's been, I guess you would say, it's been a bit erratic bowling. I think the bowling options have dictated how we've scored. Someone like, who is this? Oh geez, that was a tight run there. But someone like this, Spain, I think it is. Don't know who it is, but Spain, you know, we can score a bit freely, a bit more freely. Someone like a Joseph was causing us all sorts of issues. He was getting some good bounce. He was getting some swing. It was tough. It was tough batting. As I move on to 85 of 84 now. Again, playing the cover drive nicely. Not really getting all of that one, but we'll pick up another couple. So approaching another test match 100. You know, it's always good to get into this position. Obviously a few nerves start to kick in, but getting balls like that, oh boy, that is that's an absolute shocker. 120 Ks, getting dished up a nice juicy full bunger, just being able to free the arms when you're on 87 runs. That's it's not good bowling. It's really not good bowling. That just relieves any sort of pressure at all. As that's, oh geez, the feeling of his bowling there. Good lord, he definitely wanted to make amends for that delivery, but he's going to continue on. Peter Hanscom up the other end doing a decent job as well, just rotating strike. As I move across the stumps there, I just saw the gap on the leg side, so we're trying to hit it through that. We're going to pick up a couple. A little bit closer, run out again, but that was the plan. There was like 2 men back on the legs, or 2 players on the leg side in general, so I'm like, that's the option. They've now changed the field, so we got to look at different options here. It's just a good length ball, just played for a dot ball. You know, we can get the 100 with one shot. You know, we love to go for it. But maybe not in this situation, as that is a cracking shot, but straight to the fielder, unfortunately. So 95 of 91, McGee comes in. We've chipped it away on the offside. Is it going to go all the way? It is 109 meters. That is going to bring up the ton. 101 of 92. You know, I said before, we love to bring it up with a big shot. That time, it was just it was a risky shot. They had a 3rd man in place, but we guided it beautifully into the gap and over the rope is the main thing. So massive 100 in the stakes of this game. Lead of 143. Again, we get a nice full bunger. Just gonna card that one for another 6. So yeah, the bowling is it's been a little bit erratic. The back end of our innings here, sort of the 50 to 70. It was tight. It was good bowling. Joseph and Holder were giving us all sorts of grief, but as soon as they brought their more part-time bowlers on, it's definitely made life a lot more easy for us, and we've been able to counter-attack. So yeah, lead almost 150. Like I said, I mean the goal is to get it up. Oh no, he's dropped it. Did he drop it? Was that actually a drop? He just put it down, the absolute sitter of all time. I don't think it was a bump ball. That was ridiculous. We'll take a little bit of luck though, for sure. But yeah, the goal is to get, 300. Let's say a realistic goal, lead of 300. But anything over 200, 250 will be in the game. And this position we're in now, surely. That's got to be a realistic option. Hopefully Hanscom can get some runs and not get 20 and 30 and then get out. He needs to dig in and get if he just gets 50, I'd be content, honestly. As 112 of 106, just sort of things are just tightening up. They got a fairly ring field. They still got a lot of slips. I mean, they're still attacking, which is a credit to this West Indian bowling attack. They're still going for wickets. They're still pushing hard. As Jason Holder, we've chipped it up. Oh my goodness, how has he not caught it? I don't know if it maybe was a little bit higher than I thought. I thought it almost hit him in the goddamn head. I hit it pretty well, but yeah, I don't know. It probably should have been caught. We'll take the boundary though. It was just up in the slot out wide. I thought I should go for it as back of the length there again. Just push for another dot ball. But yeah, as you can see, again, just a good little patch of bowling here. Just putting the pressure on. We're back to 119 off 114. So yeah, it looks like they're bringing their sort of strike bowlers back on to try to pick up a wicket, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Ideal, good and ideal. That's really frustrating to chip it straight up to a man at point with pretty good timing and everything, but yeah, just sort of, again, that back of the length, just probably bounce a bit more, reared up, and unfortunately we couldn't turn that 100 into a big 100, but I mean, 119 in the situation again. Unfortunately, we got absolutely rolled at the end of it, and the West Indies are in an absolutely commanding position now. Oh no, that's very, very bad. The target is only 189. I think we got out We got out when the lead was like 160 something. So they picked up the remaining wickets for like 15, 20 runs. That is, oh, that is not what you want to see. And now they've come out, they're none for 86. So honestly, now one for 96. But Brathwaite is 47. Bravo, obviously quality. So this isn't looking good. Yeah, disappointing. We do pick up a wicket though. Thankfully, it's a big wicket too. So we're not dead and buried yet. Again, a thick inside edge onto the pad. We picked up one of those in the last video as well. So just a little bit more spin, a little bit more bounce. Big wicket. See if we can't get it done. Looks like we are not going to get it done. So the West Indies, they claimed the first match in this series, a huge win by 8 wickets. They dominated, absolutely dominated. We had a fantastic game. Picked up a wicket. I think we picked up 1 or 2 in the first innings, and then a big 100 in the second innings to give us a chance. But unfortunately, our tail just absolutely folded the middle to lower order. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.